Every Precious Second, a short story by Tullius. The numbers on this stupid cell phone are so small that my finger punches the 9 every time I shoot for the 8. My granddaughter tells me I should upgrade to one of those new smart gadgets, but it already takes me 10 minutes to dial when there are actual buttons. This old hound dog's not learning any new tricks, especially on one of those virtual screens. "Leave it alone, William. If it comes, it comes," Rose whispers. She pauses for a second to gather her breath. "If it doesn't, it doesn't." It hurts her to talk. I turn up the volume on my hearing aid and ask if she wants some water. "I want you to put down that phone." I made plans. Plus, Billy already paid for the shipping. It's not right if the package doesn't come. We shouldn't have involved her. This whole thing's wrong, and I feel torn up. I hold up the cell and squint over my glasses. "I'll just be a minute." It's too early there. She's still in bed. I glance at the clock. It seems to run faster with every passing day. "She's up," I say. Concentrate on pressing the 8. It's already noon. On the 4th ring, Billy answers with a yawn. "Hi, Grandpa. Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine, sweetheart." "You sure?" "Of course." The Afghan is slipping down Rosa's thighs. I pulled it up to her waist. She's so frail you can hardly see her legs under the blanket. I asked our granddaughter, "You weren't sleeping, were you?" "No. I wanted to catch you before your classes began." "I need to be getting up anyway. My biochem final is 11. I was up pretty late last night studying for it." "I completely forgot about the time difference. You're so far away." I don't even have to look to know Rose is rolling her eyes. I never remember the time difference. "I wish I wasn't so far away, Grandpa. I'd leave today to see you guys, but Mom and Dad won't let me miss my exams. I told your father I'd tan his hide if he did. I'm still flying out next Thursday, right after my last test." For everyone, I say, "You needn't to worry, Billy. You just focus on your test. We both know how much you love your grandma." But I want to see her. I want to say goodbye. "Can I talk to her?" Billy says, her voice quivering. "Of course you can." I turn to Rose, her blue eyes shiny with tears. "But I just had a quick question about the package." "Didn't it arrive?" "Not yet. Do you think maybe they have the wrong address? I just wanted to make sure it's coming." "Hold on." She reads off the correct address. "I have the tracking number. I'll call them right now." "Thank you, dear. I'd do it myself, but with all that button pushing, I'll end up getting instructions in Spanish or talking to some guy in India." "Remember what I said, Grandpa. Only take one every 4 hours. That's plenty." "Of course." I crane my neck to see out the kitchen window. No UPS truck, just a snow-covered street. "Thank you again for this, Billy." "It's the least I can do." "Let me put on your grandma." "I love you." "I love you too, dear." I shuffle around the table and hold the phone to Rosa's ear. She jerks back like she's being attacked before realizing it's just my cell. Rose holds the phone to her ear and traps it in her neck and trembling hand to keep it there. They talk while I stare out the window. I check the grandfather clock in the living room. It's been in the family since I was a baby. Several minutes have slipped by. Rose says her goodbyes, and I fiddle to press end. She's biting her lower lip, so I tell her not to cry. I say, "Come on, what's the matter, beautiful?" "It's not right. We shouldn't be doing this to her. What if she gets caught? She'll get thrown out of school. No one's thrown out of anywhere. I've already played out the scenario a dozen times after Billy first told me about the pills. She went on and on about studies and chemical what-you-dos, but all I heard was, "Time stops, Grandpa." She corrected herself and said, "It actually just slows down perception." But I just kept thinking, time stops. I stroked Rose's hand. "Try not to be sad. Why don't I make you some tea?" Rose flashes that smile I'll never forget. "I'm not sad, just worried." "Well, stop." I looked down at the phone. "Let me make one more call to—" "No, put it down, William. I just want to make certain that UPS has our correct address." "You're like a dog with a bone. This is almost as bad as that decoder ring of yours, Captain Midnight. I hadn't thought of that cheap plastic ring in over 20 years. I waited 6 weeks for that. Standing out by the mailbox every single one of those days. I did, didn't I? I'd sent away for it, one of those ads in the back of Boy's Life. You and your mother brought me in when it started snowing. We didn't want to see a dead kid out on the lawn. And your mother made that pecan pie. You were the only one who would eat it. Rose and I spent the entire summer fishing by the creek, walking through Drover's Canyon. We had our first kiss behind St. Gabriel's Church. I nearly passed out because my nose was all stuffed up from a cold, and I didn't want that kiss to ever end. After a sip of water, Rose looks at the wall, all those memories playing in her head. She says, "Isn't this nice?" I don't know if she's talking to me right now in this room, or me as a young man. The grandfather clock chimes. I look out the frosted window. Nothing. I'm calling them. This is ridiculous. Billy paid good money for it to arrive, and it hasn't. Calm down, William. I'm not going to let them rip her off like that. Please? She touches me, her hand shaking so much it tickles. I'm sorry, I tell her, but it gets me so mad. Darling, they're just pills. I can't have this conversation. I know where she's leading to, so I stand. She asks where I'm going. I force a smile. I've got a surprise for you. Package or not, I can't let this ruin all my hard work. What surprise? Just some things. There's one for each of the next 3 nights. What are you up to, William? I no longer have to force the smile. I've been waiting months to show her. Suddenly I hear her ringing. I look at the phone in my hand. It's not that, so I peek around the corner at the landline on the wall. The little red light isn't flashing either. Did you hear something, William? No, I guess not. I wonder if my hearing is on a fritz again, just before a series of bangs come before the living room. I hurry to the window. A brown-clad man holding a small box is walking back toward the UPS truck idling at the curb. What's wrong? Rose asks as I try to hurry out of the kitchen. I concentrate on the floor in front of me, wishing my slippered feet would move faster. My labored breaths make my chest feel like it's burning. I reach the door and go to pull it open, but the deadbolt and the security chain are fastened. My fingers tear at the chain, slip it free. I twist the lock and open the door as a blast of cold air knocks the delivery slip from the screen door. The yellow scrap of paper blows off the porch and towards the truck, where the delivery man is already behind the wheel. I'm here! Stop! I wave my hand, and nearly slide off the icy porch. The snow seeps through my slippers. The truck pulls away from the curb as I hobble down the slick stairs, gripping the handrail. Another gust of wind picks up the small slip and carries it into Peterson's bushes across the street. I prepare to step off the curb when the UPS truck circles back. I'd been in such a panic, I hadn't realized he'd have to make a U-turn at the end of the cul-de-sac. The delivery man pulls right up next to me. I've waved once more because I can hardly breathe. He asks, "Mr. Hanrahan?" I gulp and nod. The delivery man hops down from the truck with a small package in his hand. "It's freezing out here. Let's get you inside." The man offers his outstretched arm, and as much as it makes me feel like a damn fool, I take it. It's like we're going to the prom. I mumble a thank you and try to keep pace as he helps me up the walkway, then the stairs. By the time we make it onto the porch and into the house, my slippers are completely soaked. I kick them off and reach for the package, but the young man is holding out the electronic pad. "Sign here first, please." My arthritic, frozen fingers can't even pick up the pen. I want to scream, cry, and punch the guy in his face. I guess my frustration shows because he tells me it's okay, hands me the box, and scribbles a name on the pad. This might actually come in handy, should the authorities ever track this down. "No, officer. I never signed for drugs." "Sorry about you having to chase me down," the delivery man says. "You get warm and have a great day." With the box in my hands, I suddenly no longer cold or anxious. "You've made an old man's day. Thank you." I close the door, head over to the hutch, grab my wooden box of secrets, and carry everything to the kitchen. Rose is still sitting in her chair, shaking. At first I think it's another stroke, but then realize she's freezing. I left the door wide open, chasing down the delivery man. The entire house has turned into an icebox. I set both boxes on the table and hurry over to the hallway closet. My feet are still wet. I find her favorite red quilt on the top shelf, pull it down, walk back, and wrap it around her shoulders. "I'm sorry, honey." I place a gentle kiss on her forehead. "Is that better?" She eyes the box I'm tapping. "Open it for me?" Her smile is back, warmer than a radiator. "In a minute. Let's just make sure this is okay." I scrape my thumbnail on the UPS package. The tape is stronger than it looks. After a few attempts, I set the box down, angry. I can't do the simplest things. Rose, always prepared, passes a butter knife across the table. It takes half a dozen tries, but I carve through and find a bottle of extra-strength Advil. "Advil?" Rose says. "All this for Advil?" I struggle with the cap and dig out the cotton ball, dump the blue pills into my hand. Billy couldn't very well put a label with the real name on it, could she? "I don't know. We never took drugs before. Not once." "You smoked a joint at Barbara Wilcox's Christmas party." "That was 40 years ago." "These are fine, Rose." I slide the pills back into the bottle. "They're no different than your heart medicine." "Then why are they illegal?" "Darling, trust me on this. We don't have much time left together. These pills will help us enjoy every precious second. Billy said they'll intensify our perceptions and feelings." "That sounds terrifying." "It does not. 1 minute is going to feel like an hour. 1 hour will feel like a day." Something splashes against the back of my hand. I realize it's a tear. And that's exactly what I need right now. Rose bites the inside of her cheek, like she always does when she's about to give me an earful. Only this time she says, "You really sure about this?" "Positive." "Oh, Lord, I hope you're right." I thank her and open the wooden box, take out the plastic case with a DVD inside it. This is a slideshow. Pictures of our friends, families, all of our memories, vacations, weddings, anniversaries, Billy's birth, everything you can imagine. All this on a disc? Oh, honey, that's so thoughtful. We'll watch this one tomorrow. I then pull another DVD from the box. Rose asks what's on it. I say, "This one is all videos. It's for the third night. Sandra, Jimmy, Elaine, and Frankie helped me edit it. I used to hate whenever they would get out those recorders, but now I'm glad they did." Her faded blue eyes sparkle. "Third night? Why not tonight?" "No, tonight we have this." I pull out the final plastic case. This is a recording of all our favorite songs. I motion towards the door to our enclosed back porch. We'll have a nice evening out there listening to it as the sun sets. "I don't want to wait." "Well, I'm afraid that's just too bad. I've got some setting up to do, and it's about time for your nap." "Oh, you sure know how to spoil a treat." She pretends to be upset, her grin giving her away, like always. I swear, the woman would be the world's worst spy. I close the box, get her from the table, and offer my hand. "Let's get you rested. You're all mine tonight." I help her to her feet. "You devil, you've never changed. And you never need to." Rose pats my hand, and we make it a few steps before she grimaces, quickly covering it with a smile. I start to ask if she's all right, if she wants to stop, but she hushes me as we head into the bedroom. The grandfather clock strikes 5 o'clock just as I finish setting up the back porch. The CD player is on the coffee table next to the pitcher of sweet tea along with 2 glasses. There are 2 napkins, each with 2 blue pills. I turn the thermostat up to a toasty 78, a nice contrast to the winter wonderland on the other side of the plate glass window. The entire back acre is covered with virgin snow, the sun almost ready to drop behind it. I take one last look, making sure I haven't missed anything, then head to the bedroom. When I open the door, I see Rose is still in bed. Any other night, and I'd let her sleep. "Rose, dear," I whisper softly, then again, a little louder. Her good hand is resting over her heart. She's not sleeping. I ask if she's okay. "Just so tired." "I know, sweetheart, but do you think you could get up?" She gives a weak nod, and I help her to her feet. "Take your time," I tell her, but I'm practically pulling her out the door. She says, "Someone's got ants in his pants." "I'm wearing a robe." "Oh, you think you're so cute." I don't respond. Just help her cross through the kitchen. "Now, let's have ourselves a nice time." 2 minutes later, Rose is in her chair, and I'm pouring her a glass of tea. "No wonder we don't come out here much," she says. The trip from the bedroom clearly exhausted her. "I feel like we walked to Vermont." I hand her the glass. "It's nice, though, isn't it?" Her blue eyes seem to gain color as she looks out the window. "It is, dear. It really is." Thank you. I pluck 2 pills off her napkin and hold them in my open palm. Are you ready? Didn't she say only 1 each? If 1 is good, 2 is better. Rose looks at the pills. I worry she's going to back out, but she opens her mouth and sticks out her tongue. Gently I place them. 2 swallows of tea and they're gone. Here's to us, I say. I pop mine in and wash them down with a swig. Then I push the play button, and From You I'll Never Part starts. Rose sighs. Our wedding song. I start to sit when I realize I've forgotten the final touch. I head up the 3 stairs into the kitchen. A sharp twinge of pain shoots down my leg. My sciatic is acting up. Doc would tell me to rest, that I've overdone it, but I can't think about the pain. Where are you going? Rose asked. The sun is setting and our song's on. Won't be a minute. I hurry around the table and reach my hand into the little sliver of space between the cabinets and the top of the icebox. A single white rose. I picked it up from the grocery store yesterday. Had to sneak it in while Rose was napping. It's a little dusty. I blow on it and gently wipe it with my finger. The soft music floats in from the porch, and I can't wait to get back to my wife. I shuffle towards the back porch with the rose in one hand and the other running along the wall to steady myself. It's so smooth and cool to the touch. I look over and see the rose, a streaming trail of petals carving through the air. The wedding song stops, snaps me out of this trance. I realize I've been sliding back and forth across the floor in rhythm to the music. The next song begins. Gone but not forgotten. I stare out the window onto the porch, mesmerized by the sunset. The purple strip of sky between the snow and the clouds reminds me of the nights that Rose and I snuggled on the couch, holding each other as darkness descended. I reach the porch and hold on to the handrail for support, and there's my wife. This woman, so full of love, so full of kindness, that's cared for me since we were children. Her soft cheeks, the deep smile lines showing anyone and everyone how she has spent her life, always laughing, always thankful for what's in front of her. Rose turns her head, those blue eyes piercing through me as I make my way down the stairs. That look melts my heart. Tears are sliding down my cheeks, in and out of my wrinkles. I have to explain to her before she goes that she's made my life worth living. Each silver hair on her head sways back and forth. They're soft and fine like a baby's. I want to caress them and assure her that everything is going to be okay. I'm not going to let her go. I'm going to keep her here with me forever. The world starts to tilt. I'm falling. My foot catches on a step, my weight tumbling forward. I tried to bring my other leg underneath me to catch myself, but it's too late. Rose screams, this melodious roar as my right wrist snaps against the floor, the crackling echoing in my ears. I can't look away from her as the rest of my body seems to hover in midair. Rose pushes off the chair, her long sleeves barely rippling. My hip crunches into 1,000 shards of terrific pain. Waves of agony wash through me when my head cracks off the carpeted concrete. My fragile skin splits, a warmth slowly spreading along my face as Rose falls back into the chair. My fingers crawl along the fibers, trying to push myself off the ground, but my hip feels like slivers of glass digging into my flesh. I can only raise my head an inch, warm blood dripping down my lips. Rose clutches her chest. Her scream softens with the song as the sun slowly dips beneath the horizon. The last streams of light slide down her body, leaving her once bright blue eyes forever sparkling in the darkness.